The budget action camera market is literally bursting at its seams, with units now packing in 4K recording options, and here we have yet another example. At a budget level price point seemingly offering full 4K at 24 frames per second recording, the SJ6 Legend looks rather impressive. SJCam are no new players when it comes to action cameras, with various previous examples, yet their latest addition to the family, the SJ6 Legend, boasts some rather impressive features including gyro stabilisation, 4K video capture, along with all the standard modes and options available on similar units. Packed with a dual screen display and an impressive spec sheet, alongside the camera, users will find the typical array of mounts and accessories, all completely compatible with the GoPro mounting ecosystem, alongside the mini USB charging cable and the camera's 1000 mAh battery. The SJ6 Legend comes complete within a waterproof housing rated for up to 30 meters, which falls short with the competition but will be adequate for most, with the typical plastic construction, a flat lens for clear underwater video capture, and a button arrangement unique to this model. On the bottom we find a standard GoPro style mount allowing the use of the hugely successful GoPro mounting ecosystem. The clip at the top feels robust yet can be easily opened, revealing the camera within. The camera itself carries the typical GoPro clone type design that's become the norm with most action cameras on the market, with its boxy look and feel, although it does look rather attractive, with an anti-slip rubbery touch surface making it easily grippable, and simply put, it feels nice and robust in the hand. Sitting behind its optical glass is the 166-degree ultra-wide angle lens, powered by a Novatech processing chipset and a Panasonic 16-megapixel sensor, capable of shooting 4K video at 24 frames per second. Otherwise we have a pretty typical action camera arrangement, with the shutter button at the top alongside power and mode buttons on the side, which all feel robust with a tactile feeling click when pressed. On the opposite side are the unit's microphone and speaker, alongside the micro USB, HDMI and memory card slots, all open with no small plastic doors or port covers to fumble about with. Talking of doors, there's one on the bottom of the unit, revealing a cavity for the included 1000 mAh battery, supposedly lasting for around 100 minutes of usage from a single full charge. Also notice the metal tripod mount built directly into the bottom of the camera, very handy for mounting without having to use the included waterproof housing. On the rear is a nice large 2-inch display, and with the camera switched on, it provides a live view along with other useful data around the edges, such as current mode, recording time remaining, battery levels, and so on. All pretty standard stuff. The screen itself is rather bright and easy to use even under daylight, so there's no issue there. Powering the unit also brings the front-facing screen to life, which displays useful status information while the camera is in use. It really does give the unit a more premium feel, although note that it does always remain on and will not switch off like the rear screen after a predetermined period. Navigating through the modes and menus is a simple procedure thanks to the touch-sensitive display on the rear, although note that should the camera be in its housing, the side buttons act as directional controls and the shutter as a select button, keeping things nice and simple. Tapping the bottom of the screen allows users to choose a shooting mode. All the standard modes are available here, even a vehicle dashcam mode, which automatically loops recorded footage should the memory card fill up. With a shooting mode selected, tapping the settings icon will display all the options for the currently active shooting mode. We can even choose the file format, the bitrate, even some advanced options like sharpness, exposure and white balance. There's nothing similar to GoPro's Pro Tune mode, but everything that we'd typically find on a budget action camera. Finally, we have some general camera settings, again all pretty basic standard stuff. Otherwise, the menu system is well structured and simple to use, thanks to the touchscreen sensitivity. Although saying that, there were times when I found my touch wouldn't register for a few attempts, but on the whole it worked adequately well. Although there's no wireless connectivity option in the menus, keeping the side settings button pressed for a few seconds will activate the camera's wireless connection, and once connected to the SJCam app, we'll receive a live preview of what the camera sees. Well, almost live that is. There's some lag between the camera and the app, which we'd expect with a budget price unit, but for lining up your shot it does pretty well. Nevertheless, we can use the app to switch between shooting modes, as well as enter the camera settings for each mode, although note that some settings do not seem to be available through the app. The 4K setting, for example, is nowhere to be seen. Also note that while the app is active, we cannot change any settings on the camera itself. It's all controlled only through the app. Even so, the connection itself remained consistent throughout testing, making it rather reliable to use. When it came to video quality, I was left a little underwhelmed. The camera prides itself on its 4K resolution at 24 frames per second, but that's not actually what you get. What you do get is interpolated video, meaning the camera invents pixels to reach a determined resolution, and that has a detrimental effect on overall quality. Don't get me wrong though, in well-lit conditions the SJ6 isn't all that bad, certainly at the upper end of the scale when it comes to budget cameras in this price range. The SJ6 does seem to have a slightly lesser focal range, so objects may appear a little more distant than what they actually are, but otherwise colours are reasonably good, accurately presented, and the entire image is vivid and generally colourful. Exposure is okay, but it does take a few seconds to adjust to the best exposure setting when moving between different lighting conditions, which can get a little annoying at times as it'll lose contrast in shaded areas. Talking of lighting conditions, capturing video under low light is a no-go, but most action cameras suffer from the same issue due to the small sensors packed into tight physical frames. Still images are pretty good though, similar to what you'd receive from most modern smartphones these days. Colours are generally vivid and sharpness is generally maintained. In addition, all other modes worked as expected, no issues there at all. All in all, performance is rather in line with what we'd expect from a camera at this price point. It's not the absolute best, but as a cheap all-rounder, it's not the worst either. Bundled in a great package with a range of accessories, the SJ6 Legend by SJCam is a nice little camera with good battery life even though it carries a dual screen display. The front display is a really nice touch, although I do wish it would switch itself off alongside the rear display to eliminate any subject distractions. The hardware feels robust and the specs made this out to be a great overall budget camera. The video quality does fall short a little, but with an impressive feature set, those looking for a good overall action camera but not looking to stretch the expense of a GoPro or Sony unit for instance, will find the SJCam Legend SJ6 a pretty good choice.